Hi, I'm Luna. Come with me to make my cinnamon chocolate chip banana bread. So you're going to need a mixing bowl or a hand mixer, a bowl, 3 ripe bananas, a stick of butter, a bread pan, a scale, 2 eggs, baking powder, baking soda, sea salt, sugar, cinnamon, vanilla, all-purpose flour. You can use white chocolate chips like me or semi-sweet chocolate, measuring spoons, a whisk, spatula. Preheat your oven to 350. In your bowl, you're going to whisk all the dry ingredients first. So the flour, the baking powder, baking soda, and salt. So you're going to add your flour, a little too much, okay, 210 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and now you whisk. Add your stick of butter. Make sure that it's room temp and to where it's soft, and mix it until it gets nice and fluffy. That way the batter itself is nice and airy. You're going to whisk the butter for about 2 to 3 minutes. This is where your spatula comes into place. Scrape the bowl down. Make sure that everything gets nice and fluffy and there's not any chunkies. And whisk for another 2 minutes. Now you'll mix in your sugar. I'm using brown sugar. You can use white or half white and half brown. And I did check to make sure there's no chunkies. And then go ahead and whisk that for about 2 to 3 minutes on medium high. Again, I am going to check for lumpies because the sugar does tend to get to the bottom. And you want to make sure you're scraping that all of it gets mixed in. If you have a hand mixer or if you're whisking by hand, this shouldn't be an issue. I just want to make sure that it all gets scraped down and incorporated, and then mix some more. Now mix in your eggs, but I like to crack them on the side to make sure there's no eggshells, and I'm going to put them in one at a time and then mix. Add the second egg. Then again, going to scrape my bowl. Okay, and make sure you don't overmix.
In a separate bowl that I used the flour in, I'm going to add the bananas one by one.
2, 3. I'm gonna mash them till they're nice and soft, but still have some chunkies. And I know they looked so gross, but honestly, they smell perfect. They smell like what they need to smell like. They were the perfect amount of ripe for banana bread. Now you're going to the banana mixture to the mixer. Start mixing. Don't forget to add your teaspoon of vanilla and maybe a little extra because I really like vanilla. I forgot to add my teaspoon of cinnamon to my dry ingredients, so make sure you add that. And then whisk the cinnamon in the dry ingredients. It smells so good. I love cinnamon. So does my fiance, so I always try to add cinnamon into desserts if I can, if it makes sense. Now add your dry ingredients slowly. Mix until almost combined. You don't want to overmix it, because if you overmix, you'll then activate the gluten in the flour. And that should be enough. And it should look like that. And then scrape. If you see a little bit of streaks, that's okay. You just don't want to overwork the batter. Add your cup of chocolate chips or white chocolate chips, and then incorporate the rest into the batter and hold a few behind for the top of the loaf. I'm going to butter my pan. Feel free to use a non-stick baking spray. I like to butter mine, so I'm going to do that really quick, and then I'm going to put the batter into the loaf pan and put all the batter in there. I forgot to record to sprinkle the chocolate chips on top of the batter before putting it into the oven, so make sure you do that.
Here it is out of the oven, all yummy and golden. Left it to cool and sliced up a piece.
I cut myself a piece. Let's give it a try, shall we? That's perfect. So good. Feel free to try it out. Tag me if you tried the recipe and tell me how you like it, what you think. Good job. Thank you so much for joining.